Okay, and we are back for episode 2 of Game of Thrones. Um, it's fun rewatching these just because this is gonna be the third time through. This is the second person I've introduced to this show, so it's always just fun seeing another person, a new fresh person react. So we're gonna go ahead and get Mark or Lamar's thoughts on this episode.
All right. So the show continues to keep my attention.
Good, good.
First of all, it's still I'm still processing all the information from the first episode, and obviously because this is a series and it's one big story, some of the pieces are fitting in from that previous episode into this one. Uh, it starts out with what are they doing at the beginning of this episode?
I think they're with Daenerys. We start with Daenerys in the east.
Oh, that's right. She's on horseback. They're going somewhere. Where are they going?
I'll let the show tell you.
Oh, so they're on this trek somewhere. And the reason that I asked, I guess, is because she was probably riding for a while, and she may have been fatigued, or it seemed as though she was poisoned by that guy because he gave her that stick to eat or whatever. And then the next scene is them getting to the camp that they're going to, and she gets off the horse and can barely walk and needs like 3 people to help her.
Gotcha.
So I'm assuming it was just fatigue. So she gets to this camp, and from the last thing I remember in that scene anyway, is her handling or looking at the dragon egg again, and she's on screen for how many minutes, and from what I remember anyway, the majority of that time she's either looking at, holding, or thinking about this dragon egg, and I'm not sure why that's so important to her already. What does she already know about these dragon eggs? The show will tell me, I guess, if it hasn't already. If it has, I don't remember. And then these 3 helpers are explaining to her where the dragon eggs came from, and they were talking about how they're from the moon, and there were 2 moons at once, and I laughed during that scene, and I laughed because I forgot that this wasn't real. So they were talking about how the moon got too close to the sun.
Yeah.
As if there aren't 3 other planets in between there. It's literally not possible for that to happen, and it'd still be a moon of Earth.
Yeah.
And then they hatched and drank the sun's heat like they're Superman or something. I was like, okay, I forgot. I can't apply real astronomy to Game of
They
Thrones.
definitely probably thought, who knows what they thought the sun was, but they didn't know it was a ball of gas.
Right.
So.
And they also didn't know how close it was.
Yeah. Or how far away it was.
Yeah. So, it again, because I already know about the dragon scene, her riding it, as we approach, I guess I'm just waiting for her to be on a dragon, trying to understand how she gets there.
Gotcha.
And what she knows already. Then we meet, what's his name? Joffrey.
Okay.
And he is waking up. What's his name? Peter Dinklage's character. Tyrion. I said that in my head 3 times.
Really?
Like, it's not his name. It can't be his name. It's too easy. He's sleeping in this stable, probably after a drunken night. He wakes him up. Tyrion gets up, comes out of the stable, and tells Joffrey that he needs to go give his condolences to who?
Lady Stark.
Lady Stark. Oh, because of the
Catelyn.
kid?
Yeah.
Okay. So Bran gets thrown out of the castle. The news is all over, and condolences are needed for Lady Stark. And Joffrey, Prince Joffrey, he's petulant. He's like, no, I'm not going to go do that because I don't feel like it. And Tyrion Lannister slaps him. And then Joffrey, he looks so pitiful getting slapped. So funny. And basically, Tyrion saying, don't talk back to me.
Yeah.
Go do what I said. And Joffrey again says no. And then Tyrion again slaps him. He slaps him 3 times. And it was funny every time. I loved it. I could watch that over and over. So they part ways, and we actually don't see Joffrey until basically the end of the episode. But after that, though, Tyrion goes to have lunch with his brother Jaime and sister Cersei. And there are some other kids at the table as well. And the topic of the conversation basically is Bran and the fact that he survived that fall. And Cersei and Jaime are freaking out, obviously, because this was attempted murder.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is now attempted murder. It was supposed to just be assassination, and that didn't work out too well. So, Tyrion, does he know?
Yeah, I think it was to be...
Right.
I don't think I'm spoiling anything. I think you were supposed to know that he knew.
So
because Jaime makes this, like, comment. He's like, I don't know whose side you're on or whatever. Right. So, yeah, I think that they wanted you to know that Tyrion knows.
But all 3 of them are being coy about it as if Tyrion doesn't know. And Tyrion is saying things like, I hope he wakes up. I want to know what he says. I want to know what he has to say about falling out of the castle.
Yeah, I think the reason they were speaking that way is because the children were there.
Maybe. So,
because I mean, I think it's to be assumed that Jaime probably just straight up told him, like, "Hey, we got caught," because otherwise, how would Tyrion know? There was no one else there.
And that's why I was asking if he knew.
Gotcha.
Because
now, are you wondering if he knows about the incest or if he knows about Jaime pushing him?
Either of them.
Gotcha.
Because one led to the other. Because if it's only that they know, or that he knows he pushed him out of the castle.
Then why? Yeah.
And Cersei has this maniacal look on her face. Like, this kid needs to be dead. That's literally the look on her face. Like, we need to make something happen. We need to put into motion the finish of this assassination. And then they start talking about how Tyrion's gonna go whoring around.
Really quick, I did want to say the look on her face when she learns that he's not dead is hilarious. Like, her face completely just changes, and she's like, "Whoa, okay, that is not what I wanted to go with my breakfast."
This changes everything.
I have to halt my plans to kidnap their daughter so I can kill their son.
Right? Oh my goodness. She's on a rampage. We exit that scene to... Is this where No, this is outside, where Jon Snow and Jaime are talking about being a soldier.
Yeah, being in the Night's Watch.
Yeah. And Jaime is kind of chastising Jon Snow for not being a part of this order yet. And Jon Snow trying to be a part of the Starks and that tradition of guarding the wall. He's saying to Jaime, you know, don't worry about what's happening. You know, we're going to take care of it. And Jaime's like, are you going to take care of it? Are you a we now? Are you a part of this? Because you haven't been sworn in. Have you ever even swung that sword at anybody? And he kind of comes at him confrontational and basically letting him know, you know, you're not the real deal right now. And I know that. I need you to understand that. You're not a part of this. Because, technically, he isn't. He's a bastard. And I think the show right now, anyway, really want him to feel bad about that. Even Tyrion gets in on it. But they're standing out in the yard, and Jon Snow is talking to a blacksmith who is Um, building, wi- welding,
Yeah.
welding a sword. We find out that this sword is for his sister. And this goes back to my previous statement about him and Bran's relationship. They quickly kind of addressed what I was saying
Yeah.
by giving him another mentor E in his sister.
Yeah.
And actually, it kind of goes deeper than um, Bran and him because he gives her a weapon
Hmm.
of battle. And from what I can tell from the show anyway, that's not a role that women
Yeah.
have. So she has this sword now, and he's saying, learn how to use this. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be quick. You have to practice every day. And he's giving her pointers and things like that. So that relationship, to me now, it's only been 2 episodes, but seems stronger than Jon Snow's and Bran's at this moment. They even shared a little moment of silence because he's leaving, and they're going to be apart for a while. So she's going to miss him. He's going to miss her. They have this hug, and it's pretty sweet, actually. So he now goes to visit his mom, who is sitting near.
Not his mom.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to say mom.
Okay.
I understand that that's not.
I didn't
his
know
mother.
if you. I didn't know if you like were fully aware. I know you.
I'm fully aware.
No, but I didn't know if you like, cause like if you had just like kind of forgotten really
No,
quick and
no.
then gotcha.
So I'm getting to what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, no.
So for all intents and purposes, he's a part of this family. Ned's his dad, and what's her name?
Catelyn.
Catelyn is his mom. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
That's how the family dynamic is built in my head right now.
Gotcha. Because I just did want to point out how when Rob comes up to him, Rob is his brother.
Mhm.
He says like, "How's my mother?" Like they make a point to
Right.
make that distinction.
And from what I can tell, or I can't tell, John. Later on in the episode, this comes up, but at this point, I haven't seen anything from John that he acknowledges the fact that even though he's not related by blood, that's not his mother.
Gotcha.
And the woman who's raising him
Yeah.
is what I mean by mother, I guess.
Yeah.
So she is sitting bedside next to Bran, who's in a coma, basically, after having fallen. And John walks into the room and immediately gets this glare from Catelyn. And at first I'm confused. So why are you so upset with him? What did he do? Because I was thinking she was blaming him for the fall.
Yeah.
Maybe he should have been there. He should have been protecting him. Should have been keeping an eye on him. I thought that's why she was upset. And then I talk out loud for a second, and then it clicks. Oh, she is letting us know, and him, you're not my son. You're a bastard. I resent the fact you even exist. My actual son is in a coma dying.
Yeah.
And you're walking around here like everything's fine. I need you to go. And that's basically how that conversation goes. So, John, even though she's upset, still says goodbye to Bran. And then he leaves. And that's when Ned walks in. And then Ned gets some of the business too. Like, our son is sitting here dying. And you're about to run off with this bastard son who, the last time you left, you came back with. So where are you going now? What are you doing? Are you even gonna come back? Are you gonna be dead? Like what's happening? Our son needs us. And Ned says, this is my duty. I don't have a choice. We're at war. Gotta go. And she's like, no, you've made your choice. You had a choice and you made it. And you decided that you want to leave your family and go fight this war. Leave. He leaves. And a cleric walks in. What's his name?
Okay, so those are the Maesters.
Uh-huh.
His name is Maester Lewin, I'm pretty sure.
So Maester Lewin walks in and is trying to get Catelyn.
Yeah.
To tend to some appointments of the kingdom. There are things going on. It's like a business based. There are meetings and appointments that need to be
something.
taken care of.
There was something monetary going
Right.
on, like that they needed
Oh,
to
they
address.
were trying to understand how much
The
something
visit,
was costing.
The visit of
Yeah.
the Lannisters was costing them.
And Catelyn wasn't having any of it. She was like, "I'm grieving. Let somebody else take care of it." And I didn't react to this because I wanted to save it. But whoever that kid was that appeared out of nowhere that said, "I'll take care of the appointments."
Oh, that was Rob.
Rob?
Yeah.
He came out of nowhere. Because there were the two of them in that scene talking. And the she goes, "No, I don't want to deal with it." And then there's a split second. The camera moves this way and boom, there's Rob.
Well, I mean, Ned also just walked in randomly.
But we saw him open the door and walk in.
Yeah.
He was just there. Like, why are you a ghost? Like, just literally teleported into the room. It was the strangest thing, to me anyway. I was like, why?
That's funny.
So, they get that figured out. Rob decides, I'm going to take care of all this. Let my mom grieve. And then they leave. Is this when the king and Ned are talking?
Yeah, so right after that, you see Robert and Ned talking because Robert's kind of chiding and trying to figure out stuff about John's mom.
Right.
And Ned's like not into it.
Rob?
Oh, I meant John. Did I say Rob's mom?
No, you said Rob is.
Oh, Robert. I said Robert instead of. I said Rob instead of Robert.
Who's Robert?
Robert is the king.
And Rob is.
Rob is Ned's actual son.
Oh, so there are two Robs.
Yeah.
Basically. Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking
But they'll never call. I honestly don't think Rob is named Robert. I think his name is just Rob.
Gotcha. So yes, Ned and the king, are having a discussion because they are about midway to.
Yeah, they're
the wall.
getting there. No, they're so John is going to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
The king and Ned are going back to King's Landing.
Where were they?
In Winterfell. Winterfell is in the north, that's where the Starks rule.
Okay.
They rule the north, under King Robert though. But Robert lives in the capital because he's the king. Mm-hmm. He's taking Ned back to work with him.
Oh, okay.
And John is going further north up to the wall.
So that explains my confusion about how Ned was in the same area as Arya.
Yeah, no, Arya's with him. Arya and Sansa are going to the capital with him.
And I didn't understand that.
Gotcha.
So when they were looking for her, and they were screaming Arya, like, isn't that his dog's name?
Yeah.
Why are they in the same place? I didn't understand what.
Oh, okay, yeah. So all three of them are going with the Lannisters back to the capital.
Gotcha.
And technically, Cersei's a Baratheon. So Robert, his last name is Baratheon. So that's a whole separate family than the Lannisters. The Lannisters are just there in King's Landing, in the capital, because they're related to the Queen.
Gotcha.
So, but her name is Baratheon. She'll mostly be referred to as Lannister, though.
Okay. And they are having this discussion, the king and Ned, about their exploits during these war times, and describing all the other women that they've been with. And the king asked Ned, as you were saying, about Jon Snow's mom. And actually, before this, Ned and Jon have a bit of a conversation before Jon continues his trek further up north. Jon asks Ned about his mother. Who is she? Is she alive? Does she know where I am? Does she care? And Ned says, you know what? The next time I see you, we're going to have a talk about all of this.
Yeah.
And I took that as, we're never going to see each other again, so we never have to talk about this. In fact, don't turn around because I might murder you. That's how I took that.
You took it a little far, but that's okay.
I mean, why not just tell him? Because then the show would be over. So, now we're at the conversation with Ned and the king. And the king asks a similar question, and actually not very similar, it's more basic. What does she look like? And Ned's like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to take that one to the grave. She isn't one of these exploits. So to me, this is how it played out. He cares for her, maybe because they have the son, but he cares for her more than any other women that they've just
some
randomly
random.
slammed.
Yeah.
So he wants to keep a little piece of that for himself. And then the king is like, calm down, buddy. You're taking this way too seriously. Yeah, we know you have a bastard son. Get over it. We're at war. You don't know if you're ever going to go home. It happens. And that's not having any of it. But something more serious comes up. The king pulls a note out of his jacket. It's not called a jacket because it's not the time
Coats.
of jackets. Coat. Maybe it's a coat. His fur, I don't know.
Tunic.
It's definitely not a tunic. What did the note say? I forgot.
It's about how Daenerys has just gotten married.
Ah, that's right. So, and
this is important because I want to know how much you understand.
Okay. So I'm gonna go back and let you know that obviously I'm not in universe. They already know so much about what's going on. And they're just talking casually about it. Like, hold on, slow down. Daenerys. That's all I heard. Married, I got that one. Army, I heard that too. Peter, somebody said Peter.
Well, the funny thing about it is, like, there'll be a scene, like, something will happen, and then, like, immediately afterward, other people will talk about what just happened. Mm-hmm. So that's basically all that scene was we saw her get married, and then we saw them talking about the fact that she just got married.
So, the king is a little upset and worried that Daenerys just got married to Khal Drogo because one of the Lannisters killed his wife, and he fears that
one of the Targaryens.
Yeah, one of the Targaryens.
You said Lannisters.
I did say Lannisters.
It's okay. It's gonna keep happening.
Yeah. Sure. One of the Daenerys's.
Targaryens. You're going to learn the names. We're not doing this.
One of the
Targaryens.
One of those people killed his wife, who happens to be Ned's sister. And he's afraid that they want to marry into the Drogos, so that they can grab this army real quick.
Drogos?
Are
the
they not?
Dothraki.
What?
Drogo is just that guy's name. They don't... like...
Dothraki?
Yeah, that's what that tribe of people is called.
Fair enough.
The 40,000 of them.
Oh my goodness, the 40,000. And their horses. I can't. So, they're going to grab this army and come back and finish the job, basically. And the king is like, we need to snuff this out right now. Let's go ahead and kill this Daenerys chick, so she doesn't have any babies, heirs to the throne, and then, it's all going to be downhill from there. And Ned's not having any of it. He's like, calm down, there's this river that separates us. They don't have boats. They're not coming over here. And if they do, we'll take care of it.
It's an ocean.
I don't think he says ocean, though.
He says sea.
Sea.
It's not a river.
It's a body of water. It could be a puddle for all I care.
River is easily crossable.
Not if you don't have a boat. How big is a river?
Oh my gosh.
It could be the Nile.
Okay, whatever.
I'm just saying. There's a body of water that they can't traverse, okay? So yeah, Ned's like, calm down. It'll be alright.
So, okay. So, what do you understand about the Targaryens?
Nothing.
Then? Okay. Do you understand how they play into
No.
anything at all?
No.
Okay. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they went into some backstory about Robert and his rule and stuff like that, but you might have missed it.
I did.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just let the show explain it.
Fair enough. Now... I don't know her name. Sophie Turner's character.
Oh, Sansa.
She's walking through some courtyard and runs into this guy. and apologizes because she's being polite, but she is startled by, I guess, his face, and somebody walks up and says, "Don't be rude. There's something wrong with him. Apologize. Can't talk. He's disfigured. Whatever." So she apologizes again, which I didn't feel was necessary. I guess we needed to introduce Joffrey. Joffrey walks up, and at this point, he looked pretentious. I'll give you that. He looked like a douche.
Mm.
However, it just seemed like he was a prince.
Yeah.
That's just how princes would act in my eyes.
Yeah.
Especially a prince who understands that the woman that these two people are accosting, what it seemed like to him, is going to be his princess and bride to be at one point in the future. So he's just protecting her honor and also trying to show her that he can be a good prince and ruler. So he's like, "Hey, I need you to," and he calls him a couple of derogatory terms, and he's like, "You guys leave her alone, go off and play somewhere. I'm gonna take my lady and we're gonna go have a chat." So she tells her dog, who's also a wolf, it's not a dog.
Lady. Oh, I thought you were saying her name. Yeah, it's a wolf.
She tells the wolf to just chill out for a second. I'm gonna go be on my own. So they walk off, and Joffrey tries to get her drunk for some reason. That goes nowhere, by the way.
I think it was really just more of like him overriding her father's wishes sort of point that they're making.
Fine. But they hear all of a sudden clacking of sticks, and Joffrey assumes that there's literal danger afoot, and he says, "I'll protect you." And then this is when it starts to turn into, "Okay, calm down, buddy. You're a child. If I wanted to, I would flick you in the forehead and you'd fall down. Stop it." So because I already knew what was going on, it's like, this isn't that serious.
Yeah.
You're not protecting her from anything. That's her sister, first of all.
Yeah.
And those are sticks. So he walks up and he sees the Arya.
Yeah.
And
the butcher's boy.
The butcher's boy. They're just having a friendly joust. And he catches their attention, and Arya turns around, and the butcher's boy takes advantage of this because they're jousting. They're probably not. It's not called fencing. That's probably a better word.
Yeah, something like that.
He takes this opportunity to take advantage of an opening, and he slaps her on the wrist because she's turned around and isn't paying attention to the fight anymore. And it hurt, obviously, but she wasn't literally hurt. She got hit on the wrist with a stick. And then Joffrey storms in like, hey, that's my princess's sister that you just hit. You're going to have to pay for that. And he takes out his actual sword and says, "Let's fight. Pick up that stick that came from a tree. I'm going to take this metal thing that's been sharpened to kill people, and we're going to duel it out." Really, bro? That escalated quickly. So he takes the sword up to the boy's cheek and slices him open. And Arya's like, "Whoa, that's too far. What is your problem?" And then jumps on him like, "Yes, I need you to be more of this show. I need you to..."
Arya?
Yeah.
Okay.
Arya's
I figured
the
you
baller.
would like Arya.
Arya's the ball. I'll get into more than that later. So she's like, "This is out of hand." So she literally jumps on him and starts hitting him. And she picks up one of the sticks. And then he falls down. No, he doesn't fall down. That's a lie. He advances on her with his sword, pushes her to the ground, and is threatening her life now because he feels his masculinity has been tested, which, yeah, it has, but you didn't really have much anyway. And then Arya's wolf comes out and bites him on the wrist because he's standing over her threateningly with this knife or his sword pointed at her neck. And the wolf bites his wrist, he drops his sword, and he's hurting, and he's whimpering like a little dog, and I hate you. I hate him now.
Well, yeah, he's Joffrey.
But at first, up until this point, Yeah, he was annoying,
Mhm.
but I don't think I hated him.
Yeah.
Now I'm at the point like you don't need to be on this show anymore. However long it takes for you to die, I need that to happen sooner
Oh my gosh.
because you're just worthless.
You have no idea. Continue.
Fair enough. So, uh, they understand. Oh no, Arya picks up Joffrey's sword and chucks it into the river, or is it a stream?
Oh
Or
my gosh, shut up.
is it a raindrop?
There's a complete difference between an ocean and a river. Like...
The body of water that cannot be traversed. Now, after she's done that, she runs off into the woods with her wolf and the butcher boy because they understand that they just assaulted the prince. And Sansa,
Yeah.
she goes to the aid of Joffrey and is like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. You look so hurt. What can I do? I'm gonna go get somebody. They'll come and tend to you." And he's like, "Go, get out of my face," treating her like she's nothing now apparently, because again he's a man and he's hurt. Doesn't want anybody to know about it. Now Arya, the butcher boy, and the lady, the wolf, are on the run. They're hiding and you can hear guards searching for them. And Arya understands that this wolf is gonna die if they catch her. If they catch her, so she scares her off, and it becomes nighttime. And Ned is looking for her. He's got
That was
this
weird.
party.
That I like randomly was dark,
It just
and I
switched.
didn't really get that.
And
I never noticed that before.
I think that also led to the confusion that I had. Like,
Yeah.
okay, it was daytime, and now Ned at night.
I think what happened was she didn't want to go back because she
Oh,
knew
no,
something
yeah.
was yeah. But it didn't. That didn't come across immediately.
Right. So we get news immediately also that Arya has been found, has been taken, and is chilling. Well, not chilling, but she's with the king and Cersei,
Yes.
and is basically being judged. So Ned is such a baller.
Oh, you like Ned?
So when he was walking in, you just notice how he's just pushing everybody aside,
yeah.
like, get out of the way. Get out of the move. I don't know who you are, but get out of the way. My daughter's up here. I need to go figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
He was just checking everybody aside. Loved it. And then they he confronts the king and Cersei. And Cersei's basically like, hey, my son just got jumped by these two girls and this wolf. I need somebody to pay for this. I need retribution. And the king is like, they're children. That's what children do. Why are we even here?
Okay, so I'm glad that you noticed Cersei's ridiculousness.
Calm down. So it's over. He's like, hey, you talk to your kid, talk to your daughter. I'm gonna talk to my son. Where's the dog, or where's the wolf? You can't find it? Alright, this is done. I'm going somewhere else. And Cersei is like, hold on, no. There's a dog or a wolf not being punished. We can't find the wolf. There are other wolves, Cersei says. And the king's like, yeah, there is. Somebody go kill that wolf. And then Ned's like, I'll do it. So, I want to break that down first, because Cersei also now needs to die. However long it takes for her to be dead, I need that to be sooner.
Okay,
She is just malicious for no reason.
So now, do you understand the Maleficent thing I was saying?
Maybe.
I think that's what I was getting at.
Gotcha.
Cersei is like that mom,
yeah.
except like way worse.
For no reason. I cannot, like, what is wrong with you?
So you noticed like you've noticed a marked difference between the Cersei from episode 1 and
Oh,
this
yeah.
one.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
She's just a murderous thug. She's trying to kill everything, not having her last name. It doesn't make any sense. Jeez. And so, I'll also say this. I understand that she is trying to protect her son. And she can't let I guess the kingdom or the audience, their people, can't let them know that the prince is an idiot, is a
Yeah.
douchebag, and shouldn't be ruling that land. So if it is true, even if she knows that it's true, that he attacked that girl for
Yeah.
zero reason, you can't let that be known.
Yeah.
So she's just going to do whatever she can to squash all this and say, this is somebody else's fault. They attacked him. But to counter that, the king says, really, bro? You let this girl disarm you? We're going to have a talk in a minute. So there's a catch 22 there. But that whole time, Arya is staring down Cersei. She's like, you know you ain't right. If I was taller, we would throw hands. I saw it. If her wolf was there, it'd be game over. I really need Arya to fight Cersei.
Okay.
That would be awesome.
So, you brought up the wolf, so I want to talk about the Bran assassination attempt because that's the one thing I think we missed.
Yes. When I saw that, that scene, and the wolf jumps out and destroys this assassin, I was like, that's the most baller thing I've ever seen. Where did that wolf come from? But it was camouflaged on the blanket.
Yeah.
Like, what? Just went straight for the jugular, took him out, and then laid back down. Like, anybody else? No.
I really loved it. It's like that wolf literally is just like, hey, no, this guy just saved me. Like, he saved my whole family pretty much except my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So like we cool.
Yeah. Like, but at the same time, that's how Lady was too.
Yeah.
And we won't
Oh,
get.
Nymeria is the one who who attacked Joffrey. But yeah, still same thing.
And we won't get to see Lady because
She's
Ned has
dead.
to kill her.
Yeah, he did kill her.
I also that part was interesting too. So we won't get to see that wolf perform that same act, but I think the show is trying to illustrate the theme that these wolves aren't playing around.
Yeah.
And once you develop that attachment to this wolf, they got your back.
Yeah.
So yes, I thought that scene was very pivotal. It also showed the strength that Catelyn has. Well, any mother, basically. But this assassin is trying to cut her throat, and she grabs the blade with her bare hands, and you could see her getting slashed, and there's blood dripping from them. She's like, no, and she's fighting this assassin longer than she should.
Yeah.
But, of course, that kind of strength just comes out
It's
of you.
like lifting up a car.
Right.
So did you like develop any liking to Catelyn? Because I mean, we were presented with like two sides of Catelyn in this episode. The one who was shading Jon Snow super hard, and the one who was really protective of her kid. So like,
I don't know if I'm going to necessarily be upset with her for shading Jon Snow because it's a part of her trying to protect her family.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean?
So her family unit is biological.
Yeah. So she's, but how does Jon present a threat to her unit though?
Because he's not a part of it. So there's another life that Ned had that involves someone else.
Yeah.
And this love.
Well,
child.
yeah, no, I understand that, but like, at what point does that become a danger to the current family though? I just don't understand how that's showing protectiveness, or is it showing jealousy on her part?
No, it's her family can't be whole because there's a hole in it.
Gotcha.
So
she feels that Jon is that hole.
Yeah.
Or the reminder, at least, of
Jon and Ned's indiscretion.
Yeah.
And this other woman.
Yeah.
So she's supposed to be dedicated to Ned and vice versa.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to have a family.
Yeah.
And a house and a household. But Ned stepped out of that. So it isn't holy anymore.
Gotcha. I see.
So when I say threaten, it's not a physical threat. It's nobody going to come over and
it's
take
not
over.
Like he's going to change anything.
Right.
It's just,
He's not really a part of it.
Yeah.
That's not her child.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's still trying to keep her family close, basically.
Okay, you defended her a lot more than pretty much anybody else.
Really?
Because everybody thinks that she's awful for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand. I get where she's coming from.
No, I don't think she's awful for it at all. But I understand both sides of that issue, honestly. But yeah, I just when I noticed that after the wolf attack, your face changed, and so I just didn't know. Was all you were gonna say is how awesome it was, basically? Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that wolf was pretty baller.
I loved that. So let's talk about Bran in general. You were totally expecting him to be dead, right?
I was.
Okay.
Ned has to kill Lady.
Okay.
This was so interesting. Now, I'm sure that the show did it on purpose. Cersei tries to, and Jaime try to murder Bran.
Yeah.
Bran goes into a coma. Cersei then puts into events that kills one of the wolves in this family. At the moment that wolf dies and is no longer a threat to her authority over the Starks and their people, the other threat that she tried to snuff out wakes up.
That is so interesting. I didn't realize that.
That was when they showed him lying there before Ned kills it, the wolf, I was like, he's gonna wake up now.
Yeah.
I just thought that was
really cool.
That's
so interesting. I'm glad you said that because I understood that there was a connection, and I thought it was just like, I didn't really think this exactly, but like, the mom had been praying to the gods and stuff like that, so I was like, maybe the wolf's like a sacrifice, not really a sacrifice, but like a symbolic sort of sacrifice, and now Bran is back. But I think that makes more sense, or it could be both.
And
honestly.
I thought that too, also.
Gotcha.
But it was just so glaring to me how much I didn't like Cersei anymore. Like my brain just put those pieces together.
Did you like her at the beginning?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Because she reminded me of the Queen.
Oh, the 300 Queen. Yeah.
So yeah, I looked at her completely different in the first episode.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's so funny.
Now it's like karma is coming back to get her.
Yeah, Cersei is so Joffrey is one of those characters who just how he slices the boy, and you're just like, why are you doing that? Yeah. It's like literally just like, why are you doing that at all? And so that's how you feel about pretty much everything Joffrey does. Mm-hmm. But with Cersei, it's like, why Cersei? Why?
She's dialed up to 100. Joffrey's at a 6. And she's just nuts.
And but the thing with Cersei is like you were just saying, you're introduced to Joffrey and he's immediately loathsome. Even though it gets worse, you could see from the very beginning when Peter Dinklage is slapping him that he's just a bratty, terrible child. Right. But with Cersei, she has these redeeming qualities, and she's kind of interesting, but she's so crazy. Yeah. And I actually didn't realize. I thought it was a slow burn with her crazy. I didn't realize how quickly they got into it. I was like, we're only on episode 2, and they're already showing us stuff like this. So that's really cool. I also didn't know that Bran woke up so quickly. I thought that he was in a coma for a long time. But yeah, it's just funny how when we were watching the first episode, you were like, well, that kid's dead, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna say anything though. But yeah, because Bran, and now I can say this now that he's awake again. Bran is either my first or second favorite character. It's in between him and a character we haven't met yet.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I really like Bran a lot.
Arya is my favorite character.
I knew 4 years ago that Arya was gonna be your favorite character. I did not need. Also, Arya's almost everybody's favorite character. Yeah, she's her, Jon Snow, Daenerys are the big 3 that people really like. And the people. Oh, actually, Cersei has a pretty big following too. I will say, Cersei makes the show really interesting. Yeah. She really does. She brings a lot to the table, and she gives you a lot to just be frustrated about. Yes. Joffrey, it just makes you angry. Like everything Joffrey does just makes me angry. We
Mhm.
haven't seen a lot of it yet, but it's you know how you were just saying like Joffrey could just not be in the show.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Joffrey. I need Cersei in the show.
Gotcha.
Like I will say is like going forward, like try to be open minded with like I mean obviously the characters you hate you just are gonna hate, but like try to be open minded with like small or characters who seem like smaller characters because they might not be small characters. Their story might just be taking longer.
Right.
So yeah, just try to be open minded about that because like for example, Arya is cool right off the gate. Daenerys is a little bit of a slow burn. Like it's just they're all different, but they all get interesting.
Gotcha.
But yeah, okay, so that was episode 2. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us, and we hope that we get to see a little bit more of you guys on this journey as we continue to venture into Game of Thrones. See you next time.